Hello and welcome back to the Solland Uprising Mighty Empires campaign. I am Garion Reaver and welcome to the Reikland forest. This is the large wooded area that is, I believe, south of the river Reik, and it is the area through which Cromgit and his Skullsmasherz are currently marching. They have been rushed to be met by an Empire force under the leadership of the Reiksmarshal himself, Kurt Helborg. This is a blood and glory scenario, meaning there is a certain amount of fortitude that each army has, and when they dip below the breaking point, which is a fortitude of 2, as it is a 2,000 point match, then that army instantly loses, and the other side increases their victory by 1. So we still calculate victory points, but if it was supposed to be a solid victory by victory points, that increases to a massacre, etc. The Skullsmasherz force is, as I mentioned, led by Cromgit Blackhand, who is currently the front runner to be the leader of the Skullsmasherz Tribe, and he's trying to turn it into the Skullsmasherz Waaagh, or the Cromgit Waaagh, or the Blackhand Waaagh. Honestly, he's a bit unsure about the names at the moment. He is supported by a standard bearer, Ritgut, who is another Black Orc, and 2 shamans. There is the return of Bikrid Toman, who is hoping this time he's going to get foot magic, and the new one is someone who has been drawn to Cromgit's burgeoning Waaagh. It is a savage orc shaman by the name of Brimdock. The remainder of the force sees a total of 7 fortitude, because we have a massive unit of Black Orcs, Biggins, Orc Boys, and Goblin Riders, all with standards. Add to that the battle standard bearer and 2 for the general is a total of 7. Oh, and there is a giant called Goblin Sitter who has a bit of a speech impediment and doesn't know why everyone laughs whenever he says his name. The Empire side is being led by, as I mentioned, the Reiksmarshal himself, Kurt Helborg, who is wielding, and this is an incredibly notable part in this campaign, he's wielding the Solland Runefang. Traditionally, Runefangs are the sort of the badge of office for the Elector Counts. If you rule a province of the Empire, you have a Runefang, and the Solland Runefang was stolen by Orcs when Solland was destroyed, and then eventually gifted to Kurt Helborg to wield. So if Caster hears that Kurt Helborg is in the field, he is going to want to pick a fight. There is also Vinand Rutter, who is the battle standard bearer for this army, and 2 wizards, Ortvin and Hartvin. One is a light wizard, one is a shadow wizard, and I cannot remember which is which. The remainder of the force are 2 solid units of infantry, and again, I'm not going for hordes because I'm going to try not using them and seeing if that increases the longevity of the army, supported by handgunner detachments, a couple of big guns, and a massive unit of Reiksguard as befits the leader of the Reiksguard, Kurt Helborg. They have a total fortitude of 6. The battlefield represents the Reikland forest, so it is heavily wooded. As you can see, I've actually made these terrain pieces bigger, so there are only 4 of them, but they are big. They're also all mysterious woods. There is 1 hill, and there is also a sinister statue that can shoot things that go too close. First we roll off to choose a board edge. Red is the Orcs, and blue is the Empire. And that shouldn't be printing. But the Empire chooses a board edge, and they would like the hill, to be honest. Now that they have their board edges, we roll off to decide who deploys first, and now the Empire is red, as they are on this side. So Empire and Orcs, and the Empire again wins, and they deploy first. Ortvin is using the Law of Shadow, I looked it up, so he is a 2nd level wizard. His first one is Occam's Mind Razor. That is really, really useful. So his second one is Enfeebling Foe. I think that could also be useful. That could go some way to mitigating the effect of choppers. So I will take those 2 spells. Hartvin is a light wizard, and his 2 spells. Far's Protection. I think that's a pretty decent bet. It would pair well with Enfeebling Foe. And his second one is Far's Protection. I get to pick. I think I'll actually take the signature spell, Shem's Burning Gaze, because I'd like them to have some sort of offensive magic. I always sort of feel it's lacking if there is no offensive magic on one side. Bikrid and Brimdock are both using the Law of the Big Waaagh, so any duplicates will carry over between them. So I'll do Brimdock first, his first one. Brainburster. that could be useful, I guess. So I will take that one. And Brimdock's second spell is Edbutt, which is pretty much the same thing as Brainburster, so I guess I will swap that for Gaze of Mork, which is similar a bit to Brainburster, but I suppose they're mostly offensive spells. And now Bickrid, fingers crossed for foot. Edbutt, that's not a foot. I think I'll take Gaze of Mork again, because I'm not particularly keen on Edbutt. And his second one is, here we go, no feet today, I'm afraid. So he has to take this one, an augment that makes things rerolled to hit. The Empire won the roll-off, so they deploy first, and there is this big open space where I'm definitely going to be deploying some Reiksmarshal, but I don't want to deploy them straight away. So instead, let's go with the Swordsman over here on this flank. Now this board is sort of split into 3 sections. There is the incredibly wooded area where charges are going to be dangerous, where horses fear to tread, and where shooting is pointless. And then there is this little bit of wood on this side, which is sort of, I guess, more defensive or hard to charge out of. And then there's this big open area in the middle, which is going to be a bloodbath. I think I'll start with the Wolf Riders over here in these woods, basically. Big unit of spearmen are going to go here, far enough over there they're not going to hit the lip of that, but I will move Vinand over to this side. Let's put the big uns here, ready to face what's coming, and this has Cromgit in the who I'm going to shift around to this side. Oh, I've completely forgot the detachments. So there is the Spearman detachment that is going right there, and then there is the Swordsman detachment that is going right... No, I need the hill clear. It's going to go right there. And then it is the next Empire one, which has to be the Reiksguard, because characters and war machines have to be left for last, so that's going there. The big unit of Black Orcs, which apparently I forgot to fix their pop-ups, whoops, is going to go here. They are now fixed, and then it is the war machines. I couldn't remember it was the war machines of the characters, so all the war machines get deployed at once. We'll have the cannon right here, and the Hellblaster volley gun right there. Still a fair bit to deploy on the Skullsmasherz side, so the Orcs are going in these woods, which means I immediately have to roll for Mysterious Woods. And it is 3, a Blood Forest. If a spell is cast at or by a model in a Blood Forest, they take a series of hits, and then the forest moves. The final thing on this side are the 2 wizards, again deployed as a single thing. Ortvin is going to go behind, he's the Shadow Wizard, and Heartvin is going to go on top. Then over on this side we have Goblin Sitter, he's going in the Blood Forest as well. The Rock Lobber, where's a good place for this? I think over here. And then the Bolt Thrower is going to have to go somewhere it's got a good line of sight, so that's going to go right there. Bickrid is going to place himself near everything, so right there. And Brimdock, he's going to be entirely offensive spell, so he's just going to go there. So the reason, I forgot to say this, the reason Kurt Helborg has ridden out, he looks like Theoden, don't worry. The reason Kurt Helborg has ridden out in search of, I'm just going to move him actually, in search of the Skullsmasherz is because his good friend Anselm Uthman died to a Skullsmasherz Rocklobber last round, I believe. So he has decided to put down this incursion once and for all, and he is going to be very gung-ho about seeing an end to the Skullsmasherz for the foreseeable future. Then finally we roll off to see who gets the first turn, with the Empire getting +1 because they finished deploying first, which they didn't need. So the Empire chooses whether to go first or second, and they are going to go second. Skullsmasherz Turn 1. Oh yes, and because the Wolf Riders have Vanguard, this is something I completely forgot in the previous one, they are fast cavalry, which means they have Vanguard, and this allows them to do a 12-inch move for free. So they can't charge in if they take the first turn, which they are, but it does allow them to move considerably further forward. First thing we do is, of course, Orcs and Goblins tradition, we test for animosity. The animosity units in this are the Wolf Riders, the Big Uns, and the Orcs. The Black Orcs are not affected by animosity. It is a d6, and on a 1 they're affected. The Goblins are affected. Sorry, I really should have said, I always go sort of top to bottom. So the Goblins are affected, that gets resolved immediately. So you roll a further d6. 5. Squabble. If it is possible to do so, it must declare a charge against the closest enemy in the charge subphase. It is not possible to do so because they are specifically disallowed from it because of Vanguard. Units that have made a Vanguard move cannot declare a charge in the first turn. I would say that trumps animosity because it specifically forbids it, so nothing, I guess. They may not move in the movement, cannot cast spells or shoot. Big Uns. They also fail. This is pretty bad. However, the Big Uns have Cromgit with them, who has an ability called Quell Animosity. Black Orcs do not tolerate animosity. So if a Black Orc character is in a unit that fails their animosity test, they instead inflict d6 strength 5 hits on the unit, and they're treated as passing. So the unit takes 4 strength 5 hits, which is 3 wounds, which I believe negates their armor save because it is too high strength. So that is 3 Big Uns dead. Just Cromgit does not tolerate it, and the first casualties are inflicted by their own general. And then the last one is the ordinary... Oh! Well, they also have a Black Orc character, Ritgut, so he also does d6 wounds. 6! Or hits, rather. And that is 5 wounds. And again, no saves, too high strength. Not a great start, but that's why I put the characters with them to quell animosity. The Black Orcs are going to move forward. They're going to march, so they're going to move 8 inches, as are the Big Uns. And they are not afraid of the Sinister Statue, which is at the start of a player turn. Then again, a half chance of getting d6 strength 4 hits, that's pretty nasty. I think I will actually just have them just hang back a little bit so they're not quite in the circle. And the Orc boys are just going to move up 4 inches. They are not going to march in through the wood. Bikrid is also going to move up, and then he is going to march around the edge of the wood. And Brimdock is going to again move and march and stop just short of the edge of the line. And Goblin Sitter is also going to move up, but he is also not going to march, but he's a bit quicker. Magic. 7. Channeling Empire. No. Channeling Orcs. No. 7 Power and 5 Dispel. I think Brimdock will do an upcast Gaze of Mork, so he needs a 10. He needs to roll pretty well in order to hit things at this range. 4 dice into that. 18 with his level. They can only realistically dispel 1, so they're going to use everything to try and dispel this. 20 with the level, so that's dispelled. Then Bikrid is going to try the same thing. He's also going to do a Gaze of Mork, also upcast but on 3 dice. Oh, immediate irresistible force. Well, damn. Resolving the spell first, it is a line of 8d6 because it was upcast. I believe that is 33 total. It seems Bikrid is wonky. That's weird. He seems to have some sort of disc underneath his model look. Oh, that's like his base. Weird. Let's see if I can fix him. Can I fix Bikrid? Honestly, who can say? Ah. No, I see what I did there. Okay, yep. I glued him to the floor. Whoops. There we go. Bikrid is fixed. Yay! And there was much rejoicing. He still seems broken, if I'm honest. Bikrid. Behave, would you? Oh, yeah, he's definitely still broken. Oh, whatever. Any model under the line gets hit by a strength 4 hit, so I'm just going to put it through there and hit Kurt and 3 knights. I reckon this counts as a template, so he gets a Look Out Sir roll, and he's in the unit, so it's a 2+. He passes, so it hits 4 ordinary knights. Reiksguard, sorry. Just a basic strength 4 hit, 4 wounds, and they still get a colossal 2+ armor save, which they all pass. So that was totally worth probably Bikrid exploding, let's find out. Rolling on the miscast, 8. Magical feedback. The wizard and every model on the same side that can generate power or dispel suffers a strength 6 hit. Bickrid first. Wounded. Brimdock. Wounded, but Brimdock is a savage shaman, which means he has war paint. And because if orcs believe in something it becomes real, that gives him a 6+ ward save, which he fails, so they both take a wound. Good job, Bickrid. Shooting. The goblins do actually have... I forgot to change their things as well. Whatever. They also have bows, but they are squabbling, so are unable to fire them. However, we do have a bolt thrower and a rock lobber. I think the bolt thrower is going to go for the Hellblaster volley gun, if I'm honest. That seems like a good idea. However, it is at long range, so they're only hitting on a 6. I really should have brought a second one of these. They're horrendously worthless, but they're quite cheap. I just couldn't quite fit it in because I wanted this massive unit of Black Orcs. And the rock lobber, let's aim for this unit right here. It does see that past the sinister statue, and it scatters misfire. Rolling on the misfire chart. 2. Disabled. The stone thrower suffers a wound, no armor saves, cannot fire this turn or next turn. So I guess that is one of the crew dead. Overall, pretty terrible start to the game for them as we go into Empire turn 1. The swordsmen want to close with the goblins as soon as they can, so they're going to move forward and then they're going to march. The spearmen are going to move forward 4 inches and then stop. And the Reiksguard aren't going to move. They're going to hold and bide their time. Magic. 7. Empire channel. No. Orcs channel. No. 7 power to 5 dispel. Although these are close together, the goblins have bows, so it's unlikely there will actually be a fight between those this coming turn. And actually, they're probably within charge range, so I should probably account for that. We'll start with Hartvin upcasting Far's protection, so he needs a 12. Let's go for 4 dice on that. 18 with his level. Likewise, they're going to do 5 to... irresistible dispelling. It's gone. However, that does leave 3 dice left for Hartvin to try and cast Shem's Burning Gaze, and he will... upcasting that's going to be a bit of a push. No, it's going to have to be an ordinary one of those, so he only needs a 5. Which he gets. Sorry, he's aiming for Brimdock. He's just going to Burning Gaze Grimdock. Brimdock. What's his name? It causes D6 Strength 4 hits, because it was not upcast, so it does 3. He is a decent toughness, so no wounds at all. Huh. Shooting. None of the Murder Hill people moved, so all of them can shoot, as can these handgunners who can see those goblins. All the handgunners can shoot, and they are all at long range, and actually the goblin they're shooting at is not in cover, so I just need to double check how cover works. If the majority of the unit is obscured, it is said to be in soft cover. So, technically the majority of the unit is in cover, so I guess that would mean they count as cover. I suppose that is fairer than saying, actually this one wolf is outside of the cover and therefore none of them get it, so yeah, makes sense. So with the long range and the cover, it's quite a low chance to hit, but they still get 2. They will not get an armor save, but no wounds anyway. Next, the handgunners are going to go for the big uns, who are, again, at long range, but this time no cover. Still a low chance. 3. And again, no wounds. I think we should direct the Hellblaster at the Black Orcs, because they're going to be the biggest threat. So the Hellblast, you roll 3 artillery dice. That is 1 misfire and a total of 14, so you halve the number of shots, 7, and it rolls to hit. Ooh, I forgot to check the range beforehand. Yeah, the volley gun only has a range of 24. I thought it was much longer range. Anyway, yes, they are within range, but long. 2 hit, 2 wound, and because the volley gun is armor piercing, that reduces their armor save to nothing, so 2 Black Orcs die. I think the cannon will also go for the same ones because it can see over the top of the handgunners, although they are in the way. They would be at the bottom of the hill, not at the top. So the Great Cannon is going to fire at the Black Orcs, aiming there, just in front of them, and it overshoots by 8 inches. That was very nearly a misfire. 18.4 increased to 26.4, so it lands there, which is not in a great position. Still the potential to do a lot of damage as it bounces 2 inches to there. And the way cannons work in 8th edition is that they can only hit 1 per rank, so it hits 3 Black Orcs. Obviously they get no armor saves here, because it is a cannonball and kills 3 more. And with no combat, that is the end of turn 1. We go into Skullsmasherz Turn 2. Time for animosity. Moving down the table, the Goblin Riders pass. The big uns fail and take d6 hits. 5. Wounding 2 more. That unit is getting smaller and they haven't done anything yet. And the ordinary boys also bloody fail. Come on. And they take d6. 6. 3 wounds. I thought putting Black Orc characters in these units would solve my animosity problems, not kill half my force before they even do anything. They clearly don't really like Cromgit's leadership. The Wolf Riders are going to stay where they are. And, charges. Can we get a charge off here? Oh yes, also, I forgot this. Brimdock has Frenzy, which means if he can charge, he will try to. So he is actually within the range in order to charge. So I will try and resist that, because I obviously don't want my Shaman charging in. So he is within range of the General, so is testing on a 9, which he passes, so he doesn't need to charge. The Black Orcs would need to roll a 9 to charge, and because of the handgunners being so close, they could do a support fire shot against the Black Orcs if they do try to charge. And they're going to be countercharged by the Reiksguard. That's clearly why they held back. Alright, I'll try and charge with these guys first. That's a 15. They need to roll an 11 in order to get the charge. Oh, that's really not going to happen, is it? Screw it. I'm going to try. So the Black Orcs need to roll a 9 to charge. Yeah, they don't get it. So they would have done a support fire against the Black Orcs. I'd say that one can't see because of the unit blocking it. That one can. So 8 handgunners shooting the Black Orcs. It's long range and they get -1 for stand and shoot, so it's a very low chance. None. And because they failed the charge, they move the higher one they rolled, which is a 4. So they just move 4 inches, which is the same as they would have done if they just moved normally. Likewise, I'm going to have to move the Black Orcs up and they're going to march a bit to stay level. Maybe a little bit behind. The Orc boys are going to move up 4 inches. Oh, they're not actually 4 inches. It's just because they're getting lifted over the tree. So reduce 2 inches off this for the height. So they have only gone 4 inches, but it looks like they've gone further. Goblin Sitter is going to move 6 more up. Bickrid is going to move a bit up. Brimdock is also going to move up. So he's going within the range. Magic 2. Empire 1. Orcs 1. 3 power and 2 dispel is going to be a good magic phase. I think Bickrid is going to cast Here We Go, which is an 11, so it's a non-easy cast on 3 dice, which he freaking miserably failed. God, the magic is not in the favour of these Skullsmasherz right now. The Wolf Riders are going to shoot at the Swordsman. That's why they didn't move, so that they could have an increased chance to hit, because they're not good shots at the best of times. So they are all going to shoot pretty much point blank, so they are at short range. A whole load of 1s, resulting in 2 hits. And no wounds. This is horrendously unlucky. The Bolt Thrower is again going to go for the Hellblaster. Miss. And the Rocklobber can't fire. So, that's the end of turn 2. Into Empire turn 2. The swordsmen are going to charge the goblins, who are going to take the flee reaction. I didn't plan this properly because they're in the woods. Oh, damn, they're in Mysterious Woods. Whoops, I forgot to roll for Mysterious Woods. It is 3, which is another blood forest. But yes, they're going to take the flee reaction, which means they will flee through the forest and potentially die in the attempt. So first of all, we roll the charge. 3, so they would have failed the charge anyway. But they don't know that when they declare the reaction. So they just move 3 inches. Oh no, they just move 2 because it's a failed charge. So they just move 2 inches forward. The goblins have swift stride, so they roll 3 and use the best 2, which is 11. Feels like a massive overreaction, doesn't it? So they pivot on the spot and then move 11 inches directly away, and all 10 of them have to test for going through dangerous terrain. Starting with the champion. Pass. 9 others. 2 fail. The Reiksguard are definitely going to be charging. They have a movement of 7, so they need to roll a 6 with swift stride, so they have 3 dice. Oh, they actually fail! They fail the charge, so they only move 3 inches forwards. Is it just me, or have the dice gods cursed this game? Like, seriously, I swear the only casualties are from them hitting their own troops, and that's it. Well, in light of them fluffing their charge, I think the spearmen are going to stay where they are. And not... I think they're going to move a little further forward. Because the reason for this, what I'm doing here is, you see, I'm covering it so that the spearmen are more likely to be charged than the Reiksguard. Because the Reiksguard get bonuses on the charge, and the spearmen get bonuses when charged. Or rather, they lose a bonus when they charge. So they are a great sort of bait for the Reiksguard to then hammer. I am aware that I'm not doing anything about Goblin Sitter, who is slowly creeping up the flank, but I don't really know what to do except cannons, so I'm probably going to cannon him this turn. Magic. 3. Channeling 2. Empire, sorry. Double. Yes, I did channel 2 for the Empire. Channeling Orc. No. 5 power and 2 dispel. That is the best of a terrible situation. Hartvin is going to start with a fast protection on the Spearman. Normal casting, so he only needs a 6 on 2 dice, which he just gets because of his level, total of 7. Given that they only have 2 dice to dispel, that is their only chance at getting a dispel, which they pass with a total of 8. So yeah, the dispel works. And Ortvin is going to use the Enfeebling Foe on the big uns who are just about in range, so he needs a 10 on that. So he's got 3 dice. 11 with his level, so they don't have any more dispel, so that one goes through. Their strength is reduced by D3, and it remains in play. 1. Great. So the big uns now have -1 strength until that is dispelled. And shooting. With a range of 24, they are just within range for the front rank, but I don't think any of the... No, none of the back rank are actually in range. So 5 handgunners against the goblins. Horrendous chance to hit. Yet a hit anyway. And a wound, for which they get no save, so that is another goblin rider gone. These handgunners are going to go for Brimdock, I think. So they are all within long range. Ooh, I forgot. Sinister Statue. At the start of each player turn, roll a dice for each unit within 6 inches. On a 4+, nothing happens. So, Brimdock and the big uns. 4+, nothing happens. So, on less than a 4, something happens. 1 to 3, the unit suffers D6 strength 4 hits. I think I said that was at Brimdock. I always go top to bottom, so yeah, Brimdock. So he takes D6 strength 4 hits. He takes 1 strength 4 hit. And I am going to say that this can also go for the Look Out Sir roll. So is he saved? He is not saved. So he takes the strength 4 hit, and it doesn't wound him. And then the Sinister Statue on the big uns, they're fine. Anyway, back to this. Did I roll to hit with everybody? I don't believe I did. I think I was about to, and then I realised he should have been hit by the other stuff. So 10 handgunner shots against a Brimdock. 5 hit. Like with before, some of these can be stopped by the lookout, sir. Yet 3 of them still hit Brimdock. Decent chance of wounding. 3 wounds. And the only save he has is the ward, which he almost got all 3, but he does die. He gets hit by too many shots, and even his magic stupid warpaint cannot save Brimdock. This is going to hurt Cromgit's chances of getting the Savage Orcs on side. And then 2 hits against the big uns, 1 wound, and because it is a strength 4 with armor piercing, they get no save, so 1 big un dead. And because a unit was just wiped out, they need to test for panic, so only the big uns need to test. However, they are testing on the general's 9, so they have a decent chance of passing, which they do. Hellblaster is going to continue peppering the Black Orcs. 3 artillery is again a misfire and 10, so only 5 shots go through. Still at long range, but 3 hits. 2 wound, high strength and armor piercing means no save. 2 more Black Orcs die. And the cannon is gonna have to go for Goblin Sitter off in the woods, because otherwise he's gonna creep up on us and we have a chance of just one-shotting him here. So I'm going to aim right there, and it overshoots by 2 inches. That's a good sign, as long as it doesn't... as long as it bounces a bit, it will still hit him. Impacts there, and bounces 4 inches. I think that is a hit. So it's about 26, goes up to 30. That is a hit. Goblin Sitter is hit by a cannonball. Even his high toughness is no match for the cannonball, which does d6 wounds. So this could just outright kill Goblin Sitter. It does! 6 wounds, which I believe is all he has, yeah. So Goblin Sitter, who's just having a pleasant stroll through the woods, thinking about sitting on goblins, don't judge, and suddenly, pff, gone. His head just flies off into the woods. Welp. And that is it. So into Skullsmasherz Turn 3. Let's see if we can do these charges right this time. First of all, Cromgit's unit are going to charge. So they need a 5. Oh, hang on. Sinister Statue first. Oh, and Animosity. Yeah, I need to do those first. So first I'll do the Sinister Statue. Roll a d6 for the big uns. 6, I believe he's fine. Thing is, yeah, 1 to 3. Okay. And Animosity... The goblins do not test for it as they are currently fleeing, but the big uns have to test. They pass, and the Orcans fail. Because why would they not? Why would they not continue to just take hits from their own guys as they just wander through the woods, getting beaten up and taking wounds from their own bloody leaders? Anyway, yes, so they are going to charge. They need a 5. And as they do the charge, Cromgit is going to use his 1-use ability to call a Waaagh. And this is a special effect that the Orc General can do. So all Orcs have +1 combat resolution, and the General's unit has plus D3 combat resolution this turn. So he is going to charge, and he needs a 5, and if he rolls less than that 5, I'm going to cry. He rolled less than 5. Okay, he gets shot by the handgunners because they do a support fire. Why would they not? At long range, oh, that's a 6+ because it's long range and stand and shoot, so only 1 hit. And a wound, and because of the high strength and the armor piercing, I believe they get no save. Yeah, no save for that, so 1 more dies. And they move 3 inches forwards. Good job, that was totally worth calling a Waaagh. Well, the Black Orcs are still going to charge, but I think they're going to try and charge the Reiksguard and just take that out from under them. So they need a 6 on 2 dice, and if they don't get this, I'm just going to break down into complete misery. I need to stop saying that. I'm clearly jinxing it. I'm clearly, like, Gork and or Mork and or Sigmar are just laughing at me as I just repeatedly make these claims. Oh, I'm going to do this if I don't get the roll I want. Oh, I didn't get it. This is the worst Waaagh. Cromgit, he's just cursed. I don't know what he did. Next, the goblins are going to try and rally. They have a leadership of 6, so they fail. They then continue fleeing, in that case, with Swift Stride. So they flee another 11 inches. That is them... Oops. That is them off the board. And the base broke, but whatever. They're gone. So... they have lost their first point of fortitude because they took the banner with them. They just got charged. They took 2 steps forward and they're like, well, we're done. We've done our part. Cromgit doesn't even like goblins. Why are we here? Oh, damn, I've just realised I put Reikland on that side. It's way too late now because it probably would have affected things, but I would have put them in this corner had I noticed. And the orcs are just going to move up to there. So that's 2.5 and then rotate the one that they can. Magic! 11! Really cool of you to give me 11 as soon as my wizard dies. Empire don't channel any, and the orcs don't channel any. So it is 11 power and 6 dispel. I think before I do anything else, I'm going to dispel the enfeeble. So I'm going to use 3 dice for that. Needs to be to 10. Which it does. So enfeeble is gone. Next, a Gaze of Mork. I think I will not increase to upcast, so a 7. I'm going to try and do this on 4 dice. Succeeds. Total of 15. The other thing he can do is in Here We Go, so I think they're just going to put all 6 into dispelling this one. Yeah, they dispel that, I think 22, so that's gone. So Bikrid is also going to do an Here We Go, because he has nothing else he can do, so that's an 11, and he's going to use his last 4 dice on that. 14, that is cast, and they have no dispel dice left. So 2d6 targets all orc units that are in range, and they may reroll rolls to hit. So it affects every unit within 6 inches, which is the orcs, the black orcs, but not the big uns. Shooting, and instead of continuing to hit my head against the Hellblaster rock, I'm going to shoot at the swordsmen, who actually are going to get cover, so although they're within half range, it's got the same bloody chance of hitting. Alright. Sure. Back to the Hellblaster, because that's doing a lot more damage than the swordsmen are. Miss. And the rock lobber can fire again, so let's go for the spearman that it can just about see. So, can it see those? Does it need to be a bit further back? No, it's okay there. So it's aiming for the middle of the spearman, and it scatters 8 inches. Direct hit. Very nice. So it is strength 9 under the center circle and strength 3 on the others. So that is 1 9 and 8 3s. The 9 is a wound. No chance of them saving that. 6 wounds on the 3s. They do get an armor, which only 1 passes. So 5 dead plus the 1 for the 9. So 6 spearmen total. Would you believe, and I cannot believe this myself, those are the first Empire deaths. In turn 3, and with no combat, we go into the Empire turn 3. Shall we do some charging? Shall we actually engage in combat in this game? That'd be fun. So let's have the Reiksguard charge the Black Orcs. And clearly, like, these ones are coming around to flank charge, but if they can do enough damage to the Black Orcs on the charge, then it'll be worth it. So they need nothing. They're within the minimum, and the Black Orcs are going to hold, so I don't need to bother rolling. They just go smashing into the front. And I think that's the only charge I'm going to do. Like, I could charge with the Spearman, but I think it's a better idea if I don't. Instead, they are going to pivot 1, and then move to cover the flank, like so. So this way, they are more likely to be charged, and the big uns can still be shot. The swordsmen are going to reform And then the thing that I often forget, they're going to try and do a quick reform with the musician. So I think technically you're supposed to declare this before you reform, but I see it as, you can reform and then do it. It really makes very little difference apart from formality. So they need to pass a leadership test on a 7. I believe they're not within range of the general. No, they're not. So if they pass on a 7, they can move normally, which they fail miserably. So no, they don't. The handgunners are now out of range of absolutely everything, so they are also going to reform. And we're good. So into magic. 6. Empire channel. 1. Orc channel. 0. 7 power and 4 dispel. Ortvin is going to do an enfeebling foe on the black orcs. So he needs a 10, and he's going to use 3. Total of 12, just. I don't really know what else he would cast, and that's a pretty bad one, particularly as they do reroll to hit. So this would be a bad one. So I think I'm gonna have them use all 4 dispel to try and beat that, which they do quite succinctly. So I think instead a Far's Protection. This was the other likely thing that they could have done, but yeah. Like, there's no point re-rolling to hit if you're going to have, like, no strength. So Far's Protection is, they only need a 6, and they've got no more Dispel, so he's going to cast it on 2 dice, reduce the chance of a miscast, cast it anyway. So Far's Protection, all attacks against the target, shooting or close combat have -1 to hit. Shooting, these handgunners moved. These ones are going to open up on the big uns. They are all within short range now. 2 hits, that's poor. 1 wound, defeats their armor, so 1 more dead. Hellblaster, likewise going for the big uns. I love the Hellblaster, it's such a fun weapon. Another miscast, so that is 14, halved to 7. Still at long range for that one though. 3 hit. Only 1 wound, but no armor save against that, so 1 more biggin. It's stunning how much these have been whittled down. Like, these 2 units have just been minced up, and they've done nothing. These have done absolutely nothing. Anything they've done to themselves. But yeah, this is worrying that they're just going to get crushed like this, especially as they're about to shoot a cannonball right there. No chance of it accidentally hitting a unit in combat if they aim there. And it overshoots by 8 inches, so that's quite a bit of overshooting. Literally double the range. How did you mess that up? So it lands there, in the second to back rank, and bounces 6 inches, so that's hits 2 ranks, just hits the back 2 ranks. Only 1 wound. Wow, okay. So it bounces off the helmet of a guy who was just, like, stooping to look at the floor for some reason. And finally a combat. I've waited so long for this combat. It is the Reiksguard versus the Black Orcs. First of all, we have impact hits. This is my homebrew cavalry impact rule, which means any cavalry that doesn't have fast cavalry inflicts impact hits at the strength of their mount, plus 1 strength for each full rank of 5. So they are hitting with 5 impact hits at strength 5, because it is 3 plus the 2 for the ranks. 3 wounds, and at that, they don't get any armor save. The really funny thing is, that is about as damaging as the orcs are to their own unit when they start fighting, but that does count for combat resolution. Kurt will challenge the Black Orcs, and the champion will accept. And Black Orcs have a rule called Armed to Datif, where they are carrying multiple weapons. They have a hand weapon and a shield, they have 2 hand weapons, or they have a great weapon. So they can choose which one they want to use in any given round of combat, but the entire unit has to use the same one. Given that they have a lower initiative anyway, they're just going to use the great weapons, whichever always strikes last, but it means that they're going to have an absurd strength to have their best chance of getting through the armor. But first, Kurt versus the champion. Kurt has the highest initiative, so he goes first. He has 4 attacks. That is 3 hits. And Kurt is wielding the Solland Runefang. And this is one of the most powerful magic items in the game, or well, Runefangs are in general, but what they do is every hit automatically wounds with no armor saves allowed. You don't even need to roll to wound, so that's just 3 wounds. And the thing is, Kurt has a rule called the Emperor's Chosen, so every wound he inflicts counts as 2. So he inflicts 3 wounds because of overkill, so that's 6 to combat resolution for killing 1 guy. Next it is 10 Reiksguard attacks because of the champion, 4 hit, and they are wielding lances, which means they have +2 strength on the charge, meaning that's 4 wounds with no saves allowed. Next is the 4 horses, because Kurtz is in the challenge, 2 hit, 1 wound, saved. So that's all they could throw. 14 is going to be quite hard to beat. That is almost the entire unit. However, this is where the Black Orcs excel. Because they've taken all the beating that they can, and they still have enough ranks to hit with everything they've got, we've got 10 Orcs fighting back with greatswords. Orcs also have choppers, which is +1 strength in the first round of combat, whether they charge or not. Due to Far's protection, they have -1 to hit, however they do reroll to hit because of here we go. 3, up to 6 with rerolls. And they are hitting at strength 7. Still managed to fail one though. The high strength would reduce the armor save from a 1+ to a 5+, however they're also carrying the Razor standard, which is armor piercing, so instead the knights only have a 6+ armor save. So 5 knights die, the entire back row. Not even slightly enough to even the odds, but they have a banner each. The knights have 1 rank, Reiksguard have 1 rank, the orcs have 3 ranks, so they lose the combat by 7. The only saving grace they have here is that they have more ranks than the enemy, so they are steadfast, so they can ignore the difference in combat resolution and test on their generals with a reroll at 9, so they're almost certainly not going anywhere. Yep, they pass. And with that, we go into Skullsmasherz Turn 4. Animosity. The Biggins and the Orkans still need to test, so Biggins, pass. Ordinary boys, pass. For once. I think that's the first time they haven't failed this game. Anyway, because of this, we are going to fall for some traps and do some stupid charges, as orcs are wont to do. So we'll start off with the Biggins, who are going to charge into the spearmen, which they were waiting for, but what else can they do? So they're going to charge in so that all 5 on the front are in contact. Oh, sorry, I forgot to test for the Sinister Statue. So 4 or higher, they're fine. They are fine, because they were just within range. And over here, the Orc boys are going to charge into the flank of the Reiksguard, which, again, they are within minimum, because they've been right next to them for a while. But they are also charging out of woods, which causes some dangerous terrain. They have also stepped into these mysterious woods, and I forgot to test what those are. A fungus forest. Okay, so that would only have come into effect now. Fungus forest, anything even partially in, is affected by stupidity. So I do need to test whether the orcs are stupid. Sorry, I should rephrase that. I should test whether they are affected by the stupid that they are. That's more accurate. So stupidity is a leadership test. They are within range of the general, so they have 9 with a reroll, which they don't need because they pass. And they are going to charge, so who is within the woods? Oh, that is a thing that I could have been doing this whole time with these. It's always really hard to see under all the bases, you see. But if I do this, I can actually just get an outline of the bloody terrain. So those 2 are in that one, and those 4 are in that one. That makes it so much easier. So that is Ritgut, and the rest are ordinary. Ritgut, pass. Everybody else, 1 fail. Not too bad, all things considered. Yeah, that could have gone worse. Oh wait, no, they are charging through, so these 2 are also going to have to test, because they're going to be like swinging round through the forest. So 2 more. Oh, they're both fine. So yeah, just 1 casualty. overall, not bad. So they swing into the flank of this unit. The only other movement is Bikrid is going to move a little bit closer so that he is definitely within 1 inch of both of these. Magic, 10. Channeling Empire, nope. Channeling Orcs, nope. 10 power to 6 Dispel. And as he has nothing he can shoot at, because he can't shoot into a combat and can't see anything else, he's just going to have to use all 6 on an here we go to try and give them rerolls to hit. So he needs an 11. Should be fairly easy to get. Oh, unless he rolls absolutely abysmally. He's still got a total of 14, but that is shocking on 6 dice. They're going to use 6 to try and dispel, and it would be a miracle if they didn't. 18. Dispelled. Shooting, the bolt thrower is going to continue going for the Hellblaster, because why would I change what has gone terribly so far? Miss. And the Rock Lobber is going to try and whittle down these reinforcements, because these swordsmen are going to come into the flank pretty soon. So that scatters. It's 2 inches direct hit. Okay. 1 in the centre is a 9. However, we need to test a Lookout Sir for the champion. For everyone else, I believe it is a 3. Champion Lookout Sir. Passes. Strength 9 hit. Wounds. No armour. Strength 3 hit. 5. They will get an armour for that. 2... Oh, sorry. I was supposed to only roll 5. I just re-rolled the 8. Let's try that again. Of the 5... can be no more than 2, because that's what I got on the previous failed, mistaken roll. So yeah, 2 pass, 3 fail. Plus the one who got hit by the middle of the rock. Because the reason this is 2 strengths is because, the guy in the middle gets hit by the rock, and the ones around it get hit by, the rock shattering. And probably their friend shattering. So a total of 4 wounds, which is much less than the 25% to cause a panic. And now what the orcs have been waiting for. It is finally time for some melee combat, where there is more than 1 unit of orcs in combat. This is where the orcs may actually turn the tide against their terrible luck so far. So they will start with this combat, which has Kurt in it. And the orc champion in the ordinary boys is going to challenge. And the reason for this is because Kurt Helborg is the most dangerous thing on the board. All he has to do is hit, and therefore we don't want him hitting the Black Orcs, who are really sort of tough, normally hard to hit, but he's sort of an exception. So instead it's better to lock him away, fighting a champion. So Kurt has to accept. Or no, sorry, he doesn't have to accept, does he? No, he doesn't. Sorry, I always forget that, it doesn't have to be the character. So yeah, the Reiksguard captain will accept, leaving the Reiksmarshal free to fight the Black Orcs. The Reiks captain and his horse hit first. Captain's attacks, 2 hit. 1 wound. Does still get an armor save, which he fails. So yeah, the Orc boy champion is dead. Didn't even get a chance to fight back, and neither did the horse. Orcs are very slow, so first it'll be Kurt, then it'll be the remaining Reiksguard, then it will be the Reiksguard horses, and then it'll be all the orcs. Kurt's attacks, 3 wounds, just straight up. 7 Reiksguard against the Black Orcs, because only 1 can actually hit the ordinary orcs. 4, 2 wound, and I probably should have specified what weapon they're using, just in case they use their shields. They're going to use their great weapons again, so they're going to go last. Which means they have a terrible armor save, which 2 more fail. That's the back rank gone. 4 horses, 2, 1 wound, not saved. A horse kills a Black Orc. And then 1 Reiksguard against the ordinary orcs. Oh, hang on, sorry, 1 moment. Ritgut hits at the same time as the Reiksguard. That's okay though, I'll do the Reiksguard first. Hit, wound, not saved. That is 1 ordinary orc, and the horse, hit, wound. But that one is actually saved. Okay, they did a lot better than I expected them to in that. 8 wounds in total, and almost half of them were Kurt. Next is Ritgut, and these orcs do still get their choppers because this is their first round of combat. I forgot Ritgut is a Black Orc, so Ritgut will also use a great weapon, so it's actually the ordinary orcs first. 9 ordinary orcs. 6 hit. 3 wound. Sorry, that should have been a 3+. Oh no, still 3 wounds. However, even with choppers, they still get their full 2+ armor save, which all 3 of them pass. Now it's all of the great weapons of the Black Orc, so Ritgut. 2 hit. Improved strength from the choppers, still only 1 wound. Decent armor save, which they pass. 10 Black Orcs. Although I'm tempted to allocate some to Kurt. What are his stats like? Oh, damn. Sorry, I forgot that Kurt's wounds count as double. He got 3, didn't he? Whoops. Yep, in that case, I'm definitely allocating as many wounds as I can to Kurt. So they are actually the same size base. I can't get them closer to show. But yeah, they're actually both the same size base. So 6 orcs can attack Kurt Helborg himself. And they are going to. But is that the smart thing to do? I kind of think it's not. I kind of think... Because I basically need like 8 or 9 wounds here to stand a chance at winning this fight. So, well, maybe 7. But yeah, the point is, I'm not going to get those if I attack Kurt. So I think I'm going to have to go for the Reiksguard, all 10 against ordinary Reiksguard, and hope to just beat them that way. The main issue being Helborg's weapon skill, you see. He's got a weapon skill of 7. So he's incredibly hard to actually hit in combat, even if it's still relatively easy to wound him. 4 hits, 3 wound, and they still save one of them. 2 deaths. Oop, I did 3. 2 deaths. That is not enough for them to win, I don't think. They're actually... I was convinced the Reiksguard were going to get crushed in this combat. So, 1 for Banner and Battle Standard. They have 2 ranks. They have no ranks. So the Orcs lose by 8. Oh, that is shocking. They are still steadfast because they do still have more ranks. So they are testing on a 9 with a reroll, but that is shocking. Yeah, they pass. But these ones as well, they are also testing on a 9 with a reroll because they're within range of the general. They also pass. Oh, no, they are also steadfast. Well, that didn't go as I expected it to. Biggins versus Spearman. Cromgit is going to challenge, which will be accepted by Vinand. Cromgit is going to use his additional hand weapon, which gives him +1 attack. But Vinand is faster. Only 1 hit. No wound. Due to his additional hand weapon, he has 5 attacks. Still only hits with 3 of them, though. And the reason he didn't use a great weapon is because with the +1 from choppers, he's wounding on a 2+. Still only 2. It's shocking how many 1s I'm rolling. 2 wounds. He just about gets an armor save, but fails both of them. Vinand is killed by Cromgit. Just cut down in the challenge. That is going to go some way, because that is a point off their fortitude. Next, it is the Spearmen, who fight with an extra rank because spears allow them to use an extra support rank if they did not charge that turn. So they fight with 15 plus the 1, so 16 total attacks. You see why they didn't want to be the ones to do the charging. 9, 3, 2 of them were saved. That is shocking. Only 1 wound from the entire unit. Okay, that's not good for the Spearmen. 10 Biggins hitting back with choppers, so +1 strength. 5. Only 3 wounds. But at that strength, there is no armor save allowed, so 3 wounds. 1 for Banner, 1 for Banner, 2 for rank, 3 for rank. The Spearmen lose by 4. However, they do have more rank, so they are steadfast, and are testing on their generals 9, with no reroll because their standard bearer just died, so 9. Ooh, they just pass. This could still go either way as we go into Empire turn 4. Start of a turn, and the Sinister Statue still has the Biggins within range, so we roll to see if it blasts them. And it does. They take D6 strength 4 hits, 4, but no wounds. Are these within charging range? 13, they have movement of 4, so they've got to do it on a 9. If they can get in, then that's brilliant, and if they can't, then they'll move forward anyway, so they're going to go for it. They need a 9. Oh, an 8. That's a shame, but they move 6 inches forwards. Well, they pivot first. Oh no, it's again splitting the difference. So they move 6 inches forwards. That has put them within Sinister Statue range. Handgunners are going to move up and then march because it's not like they can shoot anyway, so they move 8 inches. These handgunners are going to... They can't shoot because everything's out of range, so they are going to reform to just tilt a bit. Magic. 8. Empire channel. Nope. Orc channel. Nope. 8 power, 5 dispel. Do you think I should put a counter on screen during the magic phase that says how many dice they have left? Because I don't come up and check it on the video, but I do keep an eye on it, obviously. But yeah, is that something that you guys want? Let me know in the comments. Should we try a game-winning move here? It's risky. I think Ortvin is going to try casting Occam's Mind Razor. Needs an 18, but if it passes, then the spearmen will be able to use their leadership of 7 instead of their strength of 3 to wound in combat. So he's going to use 6 dice. It's risky, very risky. Oh, that's a bad roll. Total of 17, that's not enough. Literally 1 short of casting it. Okay. Well, that's bad. Hartvin is going to cast Far's Protection on the Knights. I don't hold out much hope of this. Even if it passes, he only needs a 6, which he gets. 8 with his level. They have 5 dice to try and roll higher than 6, essentially. Yeah, it's gone. Shooting. There isn't really much shooting to be done. That's out of range. The bolt thrower is actually out of the cannon's sight, but the cannon can fire over at the rock lobber. Aiming there, and it overshoots by 6 inches. 30.4 to 36.4. It's a hit, so we don't need to roll any further, because even if it doesn't bounce, it still hits the rock lobber. And even with its toughness of 7, it's still only a 2+, so that is a wound. Multiple wounds d6. Only 1. Oh, it needed a 2 in order to destroy the rock lobber. But no, the rock lobber is still able to function with 1 goblin frantically running around doing everything. And that's it, nothing else can shoot because everything's out of range or in combat. Speaking of which, let's do Cromgit fight first. The spearman will challenge and Cromgit will accept. And again, Cromgit's going to use his extra weapon. He has 5 attacks, 3. Even without choppers, he's wounding on a 2+, 3 wounds, and at that strength, no armor save. So that is... Oh no, it's not 3 dead, it's just that one guy dead 3 times. So he gets all 3 wounds counted due to overkill. Again, 15 spearmen, 10. 5 wounds, only 2 saves, so 3 dead. Back rank's gone. The unfortunate thing is that's all they have, so now we have 10 big un attacks because the champion has 2. 7. 6 wounds. They do get an armor save as they don't have the choppers. 2 passes, but 4 death. 1 for banner, 1 for banner, 3 ranks, 2 ranks. And the orcs win by 3. The spearmen are still steadfast, so they are testing on their general's 9. Ooh, again, they just pass. And now the Reiksguard, and Kurt is going to challenge, and he's hoping to kill Rickgut, as Rickgut is the only the only one that is left, the only character or champion left on the orc side, because they all keep dying. So Rickgut basically has to accept so that they can continue to use his banner, so he's probably dead. Kurt's attacks. Oh, only 3 hit, but yeah. That's 3 wounds, no armor saves allowed, so Rickgut's just instantly dead. So that is another one off the Fortitude. And of course they count as double because of the Laurels of Victory. A stupidly overpowered item, it seems. To be honest, everything Helborg has is stupidly overpowered. Their Solland Runefang plus the Laurels of Victory, damn. He's only 320 points, by the way. this person who can just instantly kill most things in a fight and then get rewarded with gold and jewels for doing so. 6 Reiksguard against the Black Orcs. 1. No wound. 4 horses against Black Orcs. 2. No wound. Champion of the Reiksguard against Ordinary Boys. 1. Wound. Not saved. 4 boys against the Champion. 2. No wound. And because I ignore challenges for purposes of determining who can hit who, that is then 6 orcs against the Reiksguard. 2. Sorry, I rolled 4 there. That should have been 2. 1. Saved it. And then 10 Black Orcs against the Reiksguard with great weapons, because they're the only thing that really stand a chance of getting through their armour. 4. 4 wound. 5+ armour because they have the Razor Standard. 3 passes, that is shocking. Only 1 knight dies. Oh no, I thought they had a chance there. 1 for the banner, 1 for the banner. 2 for rank, no for rank. Again, the Reiksguard win. Kurt is carrying this fight. They're both steadfast because they both have more ranks, so they're both testing on Cromgit's 9. Black Orcs first. Pass. Ordinary Boys. Pass. Skullsmasherz Turn 5. First off, Sinister Statue on a d6 to see if the big uns are hit. They are not. We don't need to test for animosity as they're all within combat. And there is actually no movement because they are all in combat. So, straight to magic. 6. Empire channel. 1. Orc channel. None. 6 power, 5 dispel. And again, all 6 into Here We Go, as it is the only one he can cast. 21, not bad. 5 to dispel, also 21. And I actually looked it up. It doesn't need to meet it to beat it. It has to actually beat it to beat it. So, I believe that is cast. I'll just double check. Yeah, both 21. So, Here We Go passes. Range of 2d6, so we can find out whether it hits the big uns as well. It has a range of 9. So it does hit the big uns. So all 3 of these benefit from rerolls to hit. Now the swordsmen are a viable target for the bolt thrower. And they are also within short range, I believe. I think it's a range of 48. Yes, they are within short range. Yay! So that is now only a 5+. Yeah, 5+? 4+. 4+ to hit. Fantastic. Spear thrower. Hits! Oh, magic! Not as in magic as, you know. I don't fire bolt throwers often, so I had to look up how this works. Basically, it hits the side of the thing and it sort of goes through a rank of them. Or, rank of them. So it hits the first one at its full strength of 6. Then the second one at 5, 4, 3, 2. And if it doesn't get a wound, it stops. Strength 6. Wound. No armor. Oh, it ignores armor saves. So no armor at all. Strength 5. Wound. Strength 4. No. Oh no, wound, yes. Strength 3. Wound. And strength 2. No wound. So that's 4 wounds. That is not bad. For a goblin, I mean, it's literally the only thing it's done all bloody game, so 4 wounds for like, I mean, it was only like 35 points. It really wasn't expensive or something like that. It was a low amount of points, and I really should have brought more than 1. But still. So another attempt to whittle down the reinforcements with the rock lobber, aiming for the middle of there, and it scatters. Direct hit. These rock lobbers really do work, don't they? 1 at 9, 8 at 3. First of all, a lookout sir for the champion who passes. So 8 ordinaries. So wounding on the 9. Wounded, no armor save, too high strength. The 8 on the strength 3. Only 1. So still 2 wounds though. But even at 6 wounds, that is not the 25 needed. They started the turn with, I believe, 30. Combat. Let's continue this fight. So, Helborg and his Reiksguard, who are just wrecking the best combat units. There are no longer any champions for Helborg to fight and murder, so he is just going to go first against the orcs. 3 dead, and 6 to combat resolution, because, wow, Reich's champion against the orcs. 1. No wound. 5 Reichs against the Black Orcs. 5 hits. 4 wounds. They're using great weapons again. 3 dead. Oof. 2 horses against orcs. 1. No wound. 4 horses against Black Orcs. 3. 2 wounds. Neither saved. Bloody hell. 3 orcs against the champion. 2 hit. Still 2 on the reroll. 1 wound. Saved. 6 orcs against Kurt Helborg. Oh, I forgot the Empire had a -1 to hit against them until turn 4, but, you know, I think I forgot that entirely. 2 hit. Reroll to 3. No wounds. 10 Black Orcs against Reiksguard. 6. Reroll to 8. 7 wounds. 6 fail their saves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I guess the last one is allocated to the champion? I need to double check this. Yes, he is also removed. Because although, like, targeted directed at the champion do not carry over to the rest of the unit, attacks targeted at the rest of the unit do carry over to the champion if he is the last one left. So he is the 6th wound taken off the unit, and that is 1 more fortitude gone, leaving Kurt Helborg as the last man standing fighting 2 units of orcs. Orcs get 1 for the banner, 1 for rank, and they still lose the combat by 2. Come on! They are still steadfast, or these ones aren't because they technically count as only 1 rank. So the Black Orcs are testing on a 9 and the Orcs are testing on a 7. Black Orcs fail! Oh no, the ordinary Orcs just pass. The Black Orcs fail. Really? Like, they're immune to psychology, but they still take break tests as normal, so yeah. So I can't believe this, they flee 4 inches, and Kurt can't actually chase them down because he is still locked in combat. So they flee 4 inches directly away. That is stunning and incredibly embarrassing. And if Cromgit was in the fight with them, he would be knocking heads so hard right now. So they can't reform to move over, but they can move this over here so that they are all in contact. Kurt will also try to reform so that he's no longer being hit in the flank. He is testing on... oh no, he won. Sorry, they lost. I forgot that because, you know, he's the only one left. So they are going to try and reform on a 7, which they just succeed. So he moves over there, and Kurt turns to face them. Now, Cromgit's fight, there are no more champions, so Cromgit, he will go first, because he's going to use double weapons. 5 wounds, and at that, no armor is allowed, too high strength. The entire back rank of spearmen is just gone, but that still leaves 15 attacks against the unit. 7, 3 wound, none saved. Oh yeah, because the Black Orcs broke from combat, they lose their banner, which means their fortitude reduces as well. 10 big-un attacks with a reroll. 7, reroll to 8. 5 wounds, no passes. Okay, I think it's over for the spearmen. Banner and banner, 1 rank. So yeah, the orcs win by 8. They are within range of Helborg, but even then they're still testing on a double 1, which they so nearly get, but they do not. So they are going to flee 7 inches. They are pursued 4, so they do escape. 7 inches takes them to there. 4 in pursuit puts them there. Quite a mess in the middle, as we go into Empire turn 5. First of all, the sinister statue is within range of the swordsman. 4+, they're fine. They are not fine, they get hit by D6. 1, they get hit by 1 strength 4 hit, which does nothing. Now I have a choice here. Do I shoot or do I charge? I should probably charge to stop the big guns from pursuing the spearmen off the board. And, increase my chance of getting over here to help. So I think I will have to charge. But yeah, because they can shoot the Black Orcs who are fleeing. So charging them is 8 inches, so they need to roll a 4, which they don't, because these swordsmen don't actually want to fight. They just, they just like trundle forward 2 inches. Never mind, I guess I will be shooting them. And now I see if the spearmen are going to rally. They still have over a quarter of their starting number, so they are testing on Helborg's 9, which is not enough. They continue to flee. 8 inches. This may be them off the board. Ooh, not quite. They are still just on the board. Oh yeah, when a nearby friend breaks, I forgot that they have to do a panic test. So Bickrid has to test on Cromgit's 9 to see if he fled when the Black Orcs broke, which he did. So he flees 4 inches away from the nearest enemy, so he's just going to turn around and flee into this wood. He does just about touch the wood, so he has to take a dangerous terrain for fleeing through a wood, which he fails, taking a wound, which kills him. Ah, okay. Bickrid is dead because he tripped on a root. It's really hard for me to gauge because I did forget to measure this before. I think they were beyond the 6 inches from the handgunners, because 6 inches is like about here, and I think they were about there. So yeah, I think the handgunners are just about fine. I really should have checked that before. Magic 10. Empire channel none, and there are no orc channels left, so 10 power to 5 dispel. I genuinely think that Helborg is going to demolish this orc unit, so I probably don't need to help him with any spells. That said, if he does manage to lose through unlucky dice rolling, that is going to be devastating for the Empire at large. So I think a Far's protection against on Helborg, I think I'm just going to put in 6 dice. I really need this one to go through. Not irresistible. 21. Sure, all 5 against it. Irresistible dispelling. So it's gone. And then I guess Shem's Burning Gaze on the Black Orcs is probably a good bet. Keep them fleeing. Yeah, let's upcast it. So he needs a 16 on 4 dice. So it's unlikely, but it's also just sort of bonus damage. Oh, irresistible. Oh, bad. They take D6. They take 3 strength 6 hits. 3 wounds. At that strength, no armor save. But now the guy situated among all of the artillery is about to have a miscast. 3. Dimensional Cascade. Place the large template over the wizard, and every model takes a strength 10 hit. And the wizard may just be swallowed up. Okay, that is a horrendously bad thing to happen to Hartvin. So yeah, obviously that hits him and the 2 war machines. It was more to check if it hit the handgunners or not. So it is only 1 strength 10 hit, and it doesn't multiply or anything like that, but it may still just outright kill Ortvin. It doesn't hurt Ortvin originally. Hellblaster. Yep, that's wounded. And the cannon. Yeah, that is also wounded. So both of these lose 1 crewman each. These 2 who was unfortunate enough to stand next to the crazy wizard. And now roll a d6. On a 1 to 3, the wizard is gone. He just gets swallowed. He got swallowed up by the cascade. He's just destroyed. He gets pulled into the it's not called the Immaterium in this. What is it called? It's just the warp. I think it's just called the warp in fantasy. Yeah, he's gone. And Ortvin is bloody, crushed. I mean, not as crushed as Hartfin was, who just got pulled into the wall, but you know what I mean. Shooting. The handgunners are going to shoot at these orcs who are all within long range. 2. 1 wound, but because they have armor piercing, they get no save. These handguns are also going to shoot at those, so they are in short range. Only 3. 1 wound, but again, no armor save. That's pretty poor shooting. The Hellblaster is going to go for the Black Orcs. 1 miscast, so the 12 is halved to 6. 1 hit, wound, and at that strength, no armor either. And then the cannon is also going to go for the Black Orcs. Like, the Rock Lobber is a tempting target, but if we can stop the Black Orcs from rallying, which seems quite likely at this point, that they will be stopped, that is, then that will go a long way to winning this combat. Aiming there. So it overshoots by miscast. And the miscast result is 2 destroyed. The War Machine gets wiped out. So it was 2 damaged by the Dimensional Cascade. Obviously it damaged the barrel in some way, and it just caused it to explode when fired. Combat. The only one left is Helborg versus the Orcs. So with no challenges available, Helborg goes first. And immediately gets 3 wounds. His horse misses, and 4 orcs are allowed to hit back. Oh, sorry, I did forget the spearman broke, so they lose 1 more fortitude. So the Empire army is actually only 1 fortitude away from losing. So if Helborg does die, then it's over. 4 orc attacks. 2. They do still have their reroll, increasing that to a 3, but no wounds at all. So they definitely lose the combat. They get 1 for a banner, and they lose the combat by 5 against 1 guy. They are still within range of their general, but they're not steadfast anymore, so they are testing on a 4. So they are very likely to flee. They do not. They hold. As we go into the Skullsmasher's final turn. Sinister Statue, see if that blasts the swordsman. It does. Dealing d6, 3 strength 4 hits, 2 wound, none saved. So 2 swordsmen die. Animosity, the big uns. See if they pass their test, which they do. And they are going to charge. Is that even a good idea at this point? Like, to win the fortitude, they need to kill either Helborg or this battle standard bearer. Sorry, just standard bearer. But they don't have... The only thing that they can really do is try and lob rocks at it until it runs away, but that's it. But even if it runs away not from combat, it's not going to die. So I don't think they can actually win by fortitude. So the next best thing is winning by victory points. So they are going to charge the handgunners, who are, because they are within their movement range, they cannot do a stand and shoot. They're too close. So yeah, they're just going to charge into the handgunners. The Black Orcs, do they rally? They are testing on their own leadership now, but they are actually down to 19 models. So they are less than a quarter of their original unit size, 40 remaining. Wait, no. 9 models, sorry. 9, not 19. Down from 40, so they are only able to pass on a double 1, which they don't get, so they continue to flee 4 inches. That's a shame. They really didn't do as well in this battle as I hoped they would. No magic, so shooting. The bolt thrower is going to keep shooting at the swordsman. Miss. And the rock lobber is going to aim at the middle of the swordsman again. Scatters 2 inches that way, which may still hit them. Yeah. It lifted up by an inch when I moved it, but it is still there, so that is actually just 2 inches. I'd say that is 5 or 6. Honestly, I think it is slightly going over the top of this guy's base, so I'm going to count that as 6, including the champion. So let's do a lookout, sir, on a 2+. Passes, so it is 6 ordinary swordsmen. Guy hit by the 9 is okay. One's hit by the 3, 3 wounds. All 3 save. Bloody hell, no one was hurt when a rock landed in the middle of the swordsman. Combat, I will do this one first. So, oh, they are under them. Whoops. There. Cromgit goes first. He's going to use his double weapons. 5 hit. They benefit from chopper, so +1 strength. 4 wound. No armor. 6 handgunners against Biggins. 3. No wound. Because of the champion, 10 Biggin attacks. 5. 4 wound. No armor. 1 for the banner, 1 for the rank. So the orcs win by 11. So obviously they're testing on a double 1, which they are pretty guaranteed to fail. Yep, they fail. They will then flee 8 inches. And I am debating whether they should pursue or not. Because if they pursue, they can run into Ortvin, which would stop him from casting spells in the final turn. Or would it? No, I don't think it would. But it would guarantee pretty much that Ortvin dies. However, their only chance of winning by fortitude at this point, unless they do manage to kill Helborg, is fighting the swordsman. So I think they're going to try and restrain pursuit. Testing on his 9, they succeed. So they let the handgunners run, but Ortvin will need to test for leadership. He's the only one within range. Ortvin testing on 7. He passes. So this flees 8 inches away. And Cromgit's unit are going to reform to face the swordsmen, who are entirely... It's likely that they're going to charge so that they can bloody do something this game. And over here, Helborg versus the orcs. Helborg's attacks, 3 more dead, just straight up. Double combat res because of the Laurels of Victory. Horse, miss. 3 orcs hit back. 2 hit. 2 wound. He has a 2+ armor save, but he passes both. Oh, if they could have wounded him at the very least, that would have, I don't know, mattered in some tiny, minuscule way. So the orcs lose the combat by 5 because they get 1 for their banner. So they are testing on a double 1, which they fail, obviously. They then flee 7 inches. And is he going to pursue? I mean, this is about the only thing he can do is wipe them out. So he is going to pursue. He actually gets to roll 3 dice, which is good because he might need it. He did. So he pursues them. They fled 7. He pursues 9. So he catches them. But he also... 7. So he also goes into the fungus forest and has to test for dangerous terrain for pursuing into the wood, which he fails. So the only wound Helborg has taken this entire game is when his horse hurts its leg. That is another standard and another one off the fortitude, but that is not enough to break the army. Going into the final Empire turn. A mess of fleeing units here, and yeah, let's have the swordsman charge this unit. They are within minimum. Oh no, hang on, sorry. Sinister Statue first on a 4+. Passes, so they're fine. Swordsmen are going to charge in, because if they can kill Cromgit, then if they can kill Cromgit or just break the unit, then they have won through fortitude, because either way will reduce it down to its breaking point. See if the spearmen rally on a 7, because they still have over a quarter. They succeed, so the spearmen are no longer fleeing and will turn around. Not that it matters, they can do nothing else. The handgunners, however, are down to below a quarter, so we're testing on a double 1, which they fail. So they flee 6 more inches, and I'm fairly sure that's them off the board. Kurt will turn around because he's a single unit, he doesn't need to pivot, and then he will move 7 this way. Not that it matters, but... Oh, he will then march, actually. He's going to march up this way in order to get close enough so that they can use his leadership. The final magic phase, 3. Bloody 3. Channeling the 1 wizard left, and gets the 1. Of course, because magic is a fool's game, really. So he's going to try an enfeebling foe on the orcs that are right in front of him. He needs a 10 on 3 dice. Which he gets, a total of 12 with his level. So they are going to roll their only 2 dice. So they need a double 6. Oh, they almost got it, but no. So enfeebled remains in play, not that it matters. Their strength is reduced by D3. So Cromgit's unit have 1 fewer health, nope, strength. And to be honest, all that does is negates the choppers. Shooting, the handgunners are out of range. The Hellblaster is also out of range. So there is no shooting. So the last thing of the game is a make or break combat that could literally win either side. So if either side breaks, that side has lost. The Swordsman champion will challenge, and this will be accepted by the Big Guns champion. Cromgit wants to wreck up some swordsmen. Swordsman goes first. 2 hit. 1 wound. Not saved. The Big Gun champion is dead. Cromgit next. He's going to use his extra weapon. 4. Abysmal. Only 2 wounds. Come on. No armor from that because it is too high strength. So that's the back rank. 9 swordsmen against Big Guns because there's no point attacking Cromgit. They've got such a low chance of hurting him. 5. 1 wound. Not saved. 7 Big Guns are the last thing to happen in the game. 4. 3 wound. They get an armor, which 1 succeeds, and then they get a parry save, which no succeeds. So that is 2 dead. Ooh. I still don't know. Oh, God, I didn't mean to do that. I still don't know who's going to win this because of ranks and stuff. 1 each for banners. They get no ranks. They get 2 ranks. So the swordsmen win by 1. They are not steadfast, so they're testing Cromgit on an 8, which he passes. So neither side breaks, and that is the end of the game. Of the 114 orcs and goblins in Cromgit's Waaagh, only 21 are left. And of the 112 from the Empire, 41 are left. The Skullsmasherz, with dead or fled, counting half-destroyed units as worth half points, scored 1,008 points. They also took out the Battle Standard Bearer for another 100, and 2 standards for a total of 50, bringing them up to a grand total of 1,158 points. The Empire, with dead or fled, scored 1,356, plus 100 for the Battle Standard Bearer, and 54 standards. That's 2 standards, bringing them to 1,506. Neither side achieved the objective of breaking the enemy army, so no one gets any benefits from that, meaning there is just the difference of 348, which is a narrow victory for the Empire. I think this is the best Orcs and Goblins battle I have run. I think they did rather well, and they just, even with the bad luck that they had at the beginning, losing tons of guys to animosity quelling, I think they still did really well overall, and it's just a few unlucky rolls that stopped the Orcs and Goblins from winning this. That and Kurt Helborg is absurd, but he is still alive and still has his Runefang. Sorry, Caster's Runefang. Hashtag not biased. So thank you very much for watching. The next battle is the final one of round 5. I forgot to say at the beginning this is the second battle of round 5. And the next one is Wissenland and Solland working together against Clan Deathtoll. So thank you very much for watching. Let me know if you have any tips for how I can play these armies better. Put them in the comments. And subscribe for more board games, card games, miniatures like this, and TTRPGs. And I will catch you later.